How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to Weirdos Assemble, episode 23? Yeah, 23. Hope everybody's having a wonderful weekend, and that you continue to have a wonderful weekend. I am joined tonight by Nothing at Random, Seventh Sentinel, and the Mad Yankee. I'm sure we'll have more join in later. But for now, this is what we got going. So, how are you guys tonight?
Tired.
Yep.
It's been a busy day.
Yeah, I feel that. And chat, just let us know if you can hear us all right. Sid, how's your day been?
It's been pretty eventful. A lot of editing.
Yeah.
Went out, just got back from a ride, and then the skies opened up.
Ooh.
Like, damn. It's like Florida weather.
Yankee, how's your weekend been? Well, your day so far?
Been chugging along. Haven't gotten a ton of riding in past couple of days. The weather's been pretty off and on. It's been pretty chilly in the mornings. Plus, I've been just trying to get a bunch of other stuff ready, so I've been mostly just running around the woods a lot. So.
Yeah, I've been meaning to get out because I've heard a lot of turkey lately, and season just opened around here.
Yep, that's what I'm looking for. Numbers seem like they're a bit down here, though. I haven't been finding as many as I would in years past. But today we finally found a spot that looks like it might have some. So, we live in hope.
Yeah, hey. There's
A ton of deer sign, though.
Oh, yeah.
Just absolutely tons and tons and tons of them.
Yeah. Alright, so let's say hi to chat real quick. Let's see, we got Bleak Rides, we got Moto Mortician, Eddie Fresh, Casey, and then obviously all of us are in chat. So how's it going, everybody? It's nice to see you. Hopefully the music's not too loud. I can turn it down a little bit if need be. Because we swapped over to using OBS now, and oh, it's not even playing. Never mind. I gotta add that in. Oh well. Fix for later. So tonight's topic is motocamping, and we've got the cold weather wizard herself with us tonight. She's also the expert in not becoming prey, so there's an added bonus. So, who wants to start this discussion?
I don't think we could pick a better person to start off than she who doesn't die in the cold.
I mean, hey man, sleeping bags and Mylar is a wonderful thing.
So what equipment do you use, Sid?
I'm pretty basic. I travel around. I have a copper spur, big Agnes copper spur tent. It's the easiest one to set up, in my opinion. At least that I've had so far. I was really debating between either the copper spur or North Face has the Stormbreaker 2. Those are the two I was really debating between, but with the copper spur I could fit everything inside of one saddlebag. So all my camping gear goes in one saddlebag.
That's impressive.
It's fantastic. So whenever I'm thinking about camping stuff, I'm trying to think about the type of camping I'm going to be doing, the type of riding I'm going to be doing, how many stops I'm going to be making, and then the different weather, I call them like biomes, but weather zones I'm going to be going through. So I kitted myself out for not 27 degree weather, but do what you got to do.
You can make it work.
Yeah, you can make it work depending on what you bring. So, do you want to know what type of, because I already told you the tent, what specifically, what kind of gear do you want me to talk about?
Whatever you want to talk about. The topic tonight is motocamping. So, what you use, what you prefer, what you would like to get, how you set everything up on your bike, we're going into the whole 9 yards because this is our run up to the Weirdos Assemble campout starting on May 18th. And as a precursor, I'm so fucking excited to get to see you guys.
Well,
But
howdy,
anyway.
9 mils. Sorry.
And for chat, all of you were invited to this. The address is going to be in the description of the video for all of my upcoming videos, and I think a couple in the past. So, there's plenty of room available at the campground. It's the same weekend as the Tennessee Motorcycle Music Revival. We're going to be staying about an hour north of the actual event. So, floor is yours, Survival Master.
Oh god. I wouldn't call myself a survival master. I'm just too stubborn to die. So.
Same.
But yeah. So we already went over 10. I wanted something lightweight, efficient, easy to pack. I'm a utilitarian person, so I need to get stuff that I could use all year round, so I don't end up with too many things. It's very easy to go overboard when buying camping gear, as I'm sure you all know. But yeah, in terms of like a sleeping bag, right now I have a big Agnes, it's like 15 years old sleeping bag. It's a down sleeping bag with like a temperature rating of about 15. And I found that that was the best temperature rating for someone like me, because not only do I have the potential of like, you know, surviving a 15-degree night, but also if it gets too warm, I could just, you know, rip off that top layer, just open up the sleeping bag and just cool off. Like, it's not a big deal. And then what a lot of people don't know is that, speaking of being cold, I found this out. Your sleeping bag temperature rating, that includes your like the sleeping pad rating. So you got to be extra careful because a lot of companies will pull the wool over your eyes with the temperature rating of their bags. So my sleeping bag does not do very well in 15-degree weather, as I found out. It's all about the sleeping pad plus the sleeping bag itself. So what you really want to do is invest, if you like a big, like a lot of padding under you, get an insulated sleeping pad. That'll save your butt from freezing off. What else? You know, this is a controversial topic right here, but I never travel with a camping pillow.
I don't
Ever.
either. I always forget mine.
Yeah.
So
I do. Mine's pretty easy to pack.
Well, I
the
mean,
last
go ahead, Aaron.
guy did.
I always forget mine. I have one. And I usually wind up pulling my, I call it my whoopee, but anybody that's been in will know what I'm talking about.
My dad uses that term, and he
Yeah.
wasn't, so I'm not sure where this is.
Well, the reason we call that the little blanket the whoopee is because you would be cold without it.
Yeah.
He must have picked it up in Boy Scouts.
Anyway, I usually just take it, especially on warmer nights, and I'll roll it up into a little ball, and I'll use that as my pillow. But I just have an old set of sleeping bags that I had issued to me a long time ago, like a long time ago. And one of the new air little, it's not a foam mat or sleeping mat, it's an air mat. I had it as the last Forgotten Angels campout back in October. And then, God, I can't think of the name of that tent that I have. It's a one-man tent. I can't think of the name of it right now. I'll go grab it in a minute and look. But I can't fit all my stuff in one saddlebag. I'm like a professional below me here. I usually just have a 3-day pack that I put everything in, and I set that on the front of my sissy bar, and then I'll stick my tent and my sleeping pad through the straps of the bag itself and cinch everything down. It worked pretty well all the way to Florida in October. So, And I stayed fairly warm the entire trip. I didn't have to camp in awful degree weather at any point. I did have a shitty ride home through all the rain. Still salty about that one. Rainy, get your ass in here.
Probably at work on a quick break or something.
Oh
I
no.
didn't think he worked on Saturdays. So
Maybe not. I don't know.
I mean, my camp out isn't my loadout isn't too overly complex. I'm pretty minimalist. I may be miserable, but I will survive. And then I usually have friends that are like, "Oh, hey, dumbass, you forgot this here, Aaron, in October."
What?
All I had was my little blanket, and you're like, here's another blanket.
I have an extra whoopee.
Yeah. Well, I've got my Marpat one that my buddy gave me that, if you zip it up, it has a zipper that runs 3/4 of the way. It'll fold into its own sleeping bag.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh yeah, I
Nice.
love that one. That's been
See,
my favorite.
last October camping, I just brought a blanket down because I'm like, oh, it's gonna be warm, and I was fine with just.
That's what I'm planning on doing.
Yeah, granted, it was a blanket that like zipped up into like a really thin sleeping bag,
Mm-hmm.
but it was like, dude, that thing's older than me. I don't know why I have it. I don't know where I got it. I just remember seeing it in the closet as a little kid, assuming it was like something my dad had as like more of a blanket slash sleeping bag liner.
Mm-hmm.
But the week before the Forgotten Angels camp out, me and a friend went camping up here, where it got like 30 degrees that night. And I used pretty much the same gear for camping on the motorcycle as I do off the motorcycle. So I had my sleeping pad, except we went in my car, since I had a friend with me. So it was like my sleeping pad, a full comforter for like a twin-size bed that I just wrapped around the sleeping pad to give it like more cushion and insulation. And then I slept in a hoodie, long sleeve shirt, thermal leggings, sweatpants, doubled up on socks, lined the sleeping bag with that blanket, crawled in the sleeping bag, and I put a beanie down at the top of my nose. And I stayed warm, except for the tip of my nose, which every morning was just like a bright cherry red, because it was the only thing that wasn't covered. But it got down a couple of times that weekend when we were camping to like 20 degrees at night. And I don't have like a winter tent, so all of my tents, just like the wind just goes right through it, so it doesn't insulate well. So when it comes to cold camping, I need better selection. But going with the topic of a pillow, the last 3 times I've gone camping, I've brought like a little self-inflating pillow to use, and I haven't put it out of the packaging because my sleeping pad has like a pillow integrated into it. And for the most part, that's been enough.
Yeah, I actually tried to use one of those like inflatable camping pillows one time. It was so uncomfortable, and just so it didn't work so well. What I ended up doing was just getting rid of that thing, and I had like an extra. I actually had a Bell helmet bag that I was using for like socks and extra clothing, and I literally just rolled that up under my head, and I slept on part of my clothing bag as a pillow instead.
The
Yes,
biggest thing I've noticed with... Oh, sorry to cut you off, Yankee. Please continue.
I put the Tony
I was saying,
Chachere's
so you guys probably
I
don't
didn't
know this
measure
about me, but I actually used to sell camping gear as part of my old job working at the outdoor store. In addition to a lot of other categories of things, I was in charge of the camping section. So I remember, we had to like study up on like a lot of the tents and the bags. And while I've been, moto camping a handful of times, I don't have nearly as much experience as other people. I do know a fair bit about being cold and about sitting on the ground when it's really, really cold out and trying not to freeze to death. That experience, what that all tells me is that the ground itself is your worst freaking enemy. Doesn't matter what time of year it is, doesn't matter what. That is what's going to really suck the heat out of you. So yes, a ground pad is extremely important. You need something, anything, to just really separate yourself from that ground, because it will just suck the heat right out of your body. especially during the summer months, I would actually ditch the sleeping bag before I ditched the ground pad. And actually, and it's funny now that you say the whole blanket thing. That's what, especially in warmer months, what I'm planning on doing next time. I don't find myself being very comfortable trying to sleep in a sleeping bag. It works, if you have to, and the advantage is that you can pack them really easily. But I've actually always kind of wanted to go old school. I just want to get like a really nice wool blanket and just roll it up and just strap it right to the handlebars. Like you see somebody like in an old Chopper movie. But those wool blankets, they are fairly moisture resistant. They actually are very comfortable to sleep in. The one I have is actually the one I sleep under the winter months in my bed. It's the same one that my dad had when he was in Boy Scouts. It's just whatever they gave him. The thing is solid. I don't even know who made it or when. It says U.S. on it, and it has like what looks like a medic symbol or something. But it is like the nicest blanket I've ever had, and I've never letting go of that thing ever. So,
What color is that one?
it's like a tan beige color, canvas maybe. Yeah, see, I think you know something.
I know exactly which one that is.
Yeah. I have an X-ray. I can pull it on camera if you want.
Can anyone link that? I really want to see this.
Which one?
I guess the one, like, Goon, you know the brand he's talking about, right?
Mm-hmm.
Can you link the brand?
I doubt you're ever going to be able to get one. They're not sold on Amazon.
Actually, what I found was that some of the KOAs, if you're lucky, they actually sell those wool blankets, like the multicolored ones, at some of their locations, that was a lifesaver actually, because last time I went to FA, Mike was traveling with me, and we ended up
There he is.
stopping at a KOA and grabbing one of those, and he said that it kind of saved his butt during that first 27-degree night.
What's up, Paul? Gma, what Yankee was describing as an old medical blanket from probably either the Korean or Vietnam era. Which is because the Army put U.S. on everything to market as theirs. And if it has the medic symbol on it, it was either used in a frontline hospital or what we call a roll 2, which is the midpoint between the front line and the actual like hospital, and then you have the hospital blankets itself. Which is why I was like, you probably won't find one like that, but I'm sure they have canvas blankets or wool blankets like it that you can buy.
Yeah, it's got like the two kind of maroon stripes, one on the top, one on the bottom.
Okay.
Or maroon brown. I don't know what you call that color, but
who else have we got in the chat now? I already said Eddie. Gma's here. Trucker Paul. Fictional Man. And... making sure. And Rainy. Oh, excuse me. And Rowdy has entered the chat. Hopefully he doesn't fall out of any more trees while he's on the live stream with us.
perhaps he's moved to lighting things on fire.
Maybe.
Yeah, hey guys. No, we're not lighting things on fire. I'm sorry I'm joining late. We have been doing a puppy vaccination event.
Okay. That's fine. The topic of the night is motocamping. But those blankets that you're talking about, Yankee, are now just olive drab.
Makes sense.
Sid, get your boy.
Oh no.
I will never notice you.
Oh no, he's thirsty.
He is. You need to get him some
I
water.
understand. Oh.
You good, Mike?
Yeah,
So, Rowdy, what do you use when you go moto camping?
So I was into bushcraft a lot before I got into motorcycles. And I would love to be able to say that I take like next to nothing with me. Unfortunately, that's not the case at all. I pack everything plus the kitchen sink, and then I always regret it. And then I always tell myself I'm not going to pack as much next time. And then I still pack crap that I don't use. At some point one day I am going to just go, probably a tarp and whatever clothes I'm wearing, and that's it. But I haven't done that yet. So,
Right.
I don't know. I pack whatever I have. Just something to keep the rain off, because I'm in Florida. Like, I don't need to worry about freezing to death most nights.
I was about to
So
say I
I just-
disagree from this past camp out.
Yeah, sorry, buddy. I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing with you.
Oh no, it's fine to laugh at me. I was too stubborn to help myself.
Actually, honestly, like, normally what I have happen is I always travel in the summer, which is like the worst time to camp. And like, there was one night that it was like 85 degrees or more, and I was camping between here and Virginia, and the only way that I could go to sleep was by hugging my plastic cooler that I had full of ice until I fell asleep, because it was so god-awful hot in my tent. The tent was a horrible idea. Bug spray would have been a good idea. A mosquito liner would have been a better idea. Hindsight's, 2020. But yeah, camping in the summer sucks.
I wouldn't say it sucks. That's one good thing I do like about the light fighter tent. The moment I try not to think about the damn name of it, I think of the damn name. The light fighter tent has the bug netting woven into it, so if you need ventilation, you can zip that one in and leave the flap open. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
It's a $500 pup tent.
Fuck. It's a lot
It sounds like it's worth every flipping penny.
Oh yeah, they're phenomenal, but it's
So,
still
I have a-
$500.
I have a quick question about how you guys approach tents and tent sizes. So do you all follow what I call the rule of two when it comes to person and people capacity in a tent?
Are you a Sith?
What?
Are you a member of the Sith?
So
And we're
if
just now
it's-
finding this out?
Oh, Sith. That is not what I heard.
Oh, that is not what I heard either. I was
If it's like
I mean,
if
I
it's
might be.
stupid, like if it's stupid cold, I want the smallest tent possible, because then I can use all the crap that I carry to insulate the tent, and it doesn't take that much to do so. I did make the mistake of doing bushcraft camping in Virginia one night when it got down to like 28,
Yeah, that was
which
fun.
is nothing for you guys, but like I had a 32 degree bag. It sucked. It sucks so much. It was horrible.
So,
Like, I got so cold that I couldn't think straight.
yeah,
Jeez.
been there.
So, when it comes to tents, my rule of thumb is I don't like just like leaving my gear outside of the tent. So a 2-person tent to me is a 1-person tent. It's room for me plus my gear. So if you're going to be doing two up on a bike and camping, you're going to need at least a 3-person tent. At least a 3-person tent, because if you don't mind cuddling, you have like a shared pad. Then you have a shared sleeping area, and then just like the other 2 corners and everything in between is like your storage, and you have like a little crawl way to get out of the tent.
Yeah.
Now,
So,
if you're not going to cuddle, a 4-person tent, because then you have each side for you, and the middle is like the walkway and storage.
yeah. So the light fighter that I have has the 2 areas on each side that you can put your gear, and then the center is for you, so you can choose to go out either left or right. So at Forgotten Angels, I just stuffed everything on the far side of the tent, parked my bike in the front, and then had the one access open. That way I could just crawl in and out.
Mhm.
So it's essentially a 2-person tent, but it's a 1-person tent. If that makes sense. Now, I did, when I was helping Trucker Paul move, because he mentioned it in chat, I did get to see his Lone Rider, and it was a lot smaller than I thought it was. Like, when it was compacted down, I thought it was going to be massive, but it's really not.
And then the one, excuse me,
Miss you, Paul.
the what is it, Lone Walker tent that Rainey has, the knockoff Lone Rider, or Wolf Walker, I think is what it's called. I think it does compress down a little more than the Lone Rider does, because I think it has like extra straps on the thing to like cinch it down and like compress it more. I could very well be wrong.
Well, if a certain weatherman would get in here, we could get his opinion on it, but...
That is what I was getting at, though, with the whole rule of two thing, is that, yeah, if you're talking, like, capacity and how many people can fit in a tent, you always take whatever their, the rated amount is, and you have it. So if it says it's a 4-person tent, it's a 2-person tent. If it says 6-person tent, it's a 3-person tent. I just held up 4 fingers for some reason when I said that. Apparently, I'm not 100% here either. But this was kind of goes back to like when we used to work at the outdoor store and we would be selling them. We would have families come in who were going camping for the first time. They're like, yeah, there's going to be like, you know, my wife, me, and our 3 kids, and we're gonna get like a, you know, a 4-person tent because the kids are small. And I'm like, you can try that, but you're just gonna be right back here the minute you get back and either yelling at me or buying another tent from me. So take my advice and go a little bit bigger.
Yeah. I have a 5-person tent for the wife and the kids, and then I sleep in my own tent.
There you go.
So, my wife's like, I don't share. I was like, me neither. Here's your space, here's mine.
Damn.
Wake me up if you need me.
And her space just also happens to include the kids.
Exactly.
What a coincidence.
Wasn't
That's how
planned.
you got 'em.
Well, there was one night we were camping, and she came over, she put the lock back on the kid's zipper, and she came and crawled in my tent. She's like, yeah, we're sharing. What happened? I don't share. She's like, nah, no more.
See,
Wow.
that's compromise, though. That's compromise.
Yeah.
So.
There may or may not have been another motive there, but...
Nope.
Yeah.
Not gonna make jokes or anything.
Nope.
Nope.
Not touching that.
Nope.
You're a good husband, Goon. So, I'm looking right now at the different Big Agnes ones, Big Agnes tents.
Oh, he's up uppers! Sorry.
Oh, they're so cute. Oh yeah, get a tent where you have room for a dog.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
But
A dog would be good because they will help keep you warm during the colder evenings.
Yes. Dogs are the greatest cuddle buddies. Chat, keep your stuff coming. We're
Barbie?
enjoying looking at it and adding it into what we're talking about.
Like, some people at the campout have that worked out pretty good. And so, like, I'm impressed with some people at the campout. And if y'all want to talk to, like, who's got the best dog set up for their dogs tent-wise, I kind of evaluated a little bit when I was hanging out in March. And so if anybody wants to talk about that, I'm gonna try and get with them and see what tents they were using. But I highly recommend tie-outs when you're in a camping situation, when like you're in a situation where you can keep an eye on your babies and stuff like that, and they're like basically never unattended. Tie-outs are awesome. So, you know, if you're camping with your dog, that's a good way to go. Like, especially at the Forgotten Angels camp out, you don't really want off-leash dogs. Like, it's just bad news because there's all different breeds and, you know, all different temperaments, and, you know, they don't always homogenate very well.
yeah,
That is
especially
true.
little tiger running around. I heard that he has a nasty little temper sometimes with other dogs.
Yeah, because that's his turf.
Yeah, it's his campground. He owns it. Little tiger man, he's cute as hell, but man, he'll get up in another dog's face. At least from what I've heard. I haven't seen it happen, thank God, but the little guy is a little bit territorial.
So who have we not heard from for the camping setup? Nobody? About to be a real short episode.
Yeah, I think we.
I feel like we could go a lot further into this.
Yeah, I could keep talking.
I mean, we've talked about some of the stuff like we do bring, and it's pretty common: sleeping pad, sleeping foam, something to create a barrier between us and the ground. Not just one for comfort, but also for insulation. We could talk circles about different like sleeping apparatuses when it comes to bags, wool blankets, and all of that. But at the end of the night, it's going to be whatever you as an individual are most comfortable with. Like, I've got a sleeping bag, a Coleman sleeping bag. It's supposed to be rated for 35. I would never use that thing below 45 degrees again, ever.
Yeah. And what's up, Paul? How's Wisconsin?
Look at that beautiful face.
I miss your face and your hugs.
What's up, guys?
So something else Gma brought up, and just now in the chat. What kind of cooking stuff do we bring, or can we bring?
I don't bring any cooking stuff when I camp.
I have
I
brought
get
it, but I
all
have
the
yet to
thing.
use it.
The spy. What the hell are you talking
a
about?
walk. I brought a
Walk
walk.
is
I
good.
brought a walk. I have a cast iron skillet set that I can bring that's like turns into what do they call them? It's kind of like a Dutch oven setup.
Yeah, I have one of those little jet boil stoves.
Oh, I have one of those too.
Yeah,
Don't get me wrong. I have a
Yep.
I have a jet boil, off-brand jet boil, but jet boil, a French press that goes on top of it. I'm a fucking bougie little diva when it comes to having my coffee every morning. Otherwise, you get a grumpy goon.
Do you have a hand grinder?
Yes.
Yeah. Which one do you have?
I don't remember off the top of my head. It's packed up
I got
in all
some-
my gear.
I got some cheap ass Amazon one, but I freaking love that thing. It's the best. That and like a plastic French press, because you don't want to bring a glass one because it'll break. But the plastic French presses are good.
No, you get a metal one that has the plastic in the middle. Coleman makes it, so it's like yay big.
See, anytime I've gone camping, even when I take a car, the most we ever do is just like easy to cook over a fire. Stuff that would fit like a small cooler.
Yeah,
Weenies.
giggity.
Yeah, no,
Yep.
it's like
Be right back.
hot dogs, marshmallows. One guy got like a little like tiny cast iron skillet that he brought, big enough for like a singular pre-made burger patty. So somebody brought like already pre-made burger patties that we just kept in the cooler and would take turns one at a time making a single patty.
Boo.
Actually, if you know how to fish for brook trout, and you get those little ones. When I was a kid, my dad showed me how to basically just take them out of the stream we'd have in our backyard, and I would literally just put them on a stick and roast them over the campfire like a hot dog.
Yeah.
Oh, so I apologize in advance. It's not Coleman. It's Stanley.
Oh,
But yeah, my head is reference. Oh, and my jet boil stuff still in here.
I
I
was
have a
thinking about,
Stanley thermos as well.
I was thinking about getting a jet boil. Right now I'm rocking the like super tiny compact little wood stove. It's like a minimalist little wood stove with a tiny opening in the front, and you just feed like little bits of wood into it, and it's worked wonderful for me. I was able to make pasta. Actually, it was a camping trip I had with Mike. I made Italian pasta. It was squid ink pasta over a fire in a homemade vodka sauce because I'm extra. And
Nice.
yeah, it was great.
Pretty cool.
So from now on, going camping with Sid only.
Fuck you.
You can come with us.
But no, I have my little MSR burner that you attach
Nice.
to a little like propane tank, and then this fits conveniently down inside my French press, and I never have to worry about leaving it because it's always in my bag.
I'm not gonna make any of the good weirdo assemble campouts this year, and I feel very sad for that. But we need to have a camping food competition at some point.
I'll smoke the dog shit out of you.
Let's
I
go.
wanna-
Let's go, dude. It's on.
I want to challenge her two wheels to a campfire quesadilla cookout.
How about campfire chili?
I mean, I could.
I don't think we're trying to ruin anyone's camp experience.
What are you talking
Because
about?
I'm sure the chili will be nice, but about 2-3 hours later,
There's a whole ass lake.
the-
Have fun.
Well, you see, campfire quesadillas, you could just rip a piece off and walk around and mingle. This is perfect for, like, walking around a campsite.
I can just. Yeah, how's it going? Man, just keep going about my
With your
day.
chili?
You're damn right. Paul, what setup do you use? I know. I'll bring you into the conversation. My apologies.
Oh, it's all right. Well, I only hopped on because you said it was going to be a short one, and I'm like, oh, I got to liven this shit up.
Well, I mean, chat's actually inputting now. Gmail gave us a whole new area to explore.
Oh, okay. Well, as far as cooking stuff, I go to places and eat. I don't bring anything because I hate cooking. I barely cook at home.
I'll cook for you, boo.
All right.
I'm in the same boat as Paul there. Like, I'm going camping. I want a hot meal. I don't want to have to go through the trouble of cooking it myself.
Yeah. I mean, if someone's cooking, especially like the camp out in Florida, you got Jeremiah. He does cooking. There's always snacks floating around.
Mm-hmm.
There's 100 people that have coolers and just offer you stuff. So you just kind of mooch all weekend.
Oh yeah.
Makes it easy. Of course, you bring chips and stuff. You do whatever you need to do. But as far as being on the road, last year I took a 3-week moto camping. I ate out every day. I'm not going to lie.
Casey, no offense, but some of us can't wake and bake due to our jobs, but I wish that was an option.
See, I don't really care to fuck with coffee when I'm camping, even up here when I camp with friends. I just get like a 4 to 12 pack of Monsters, depending if I know other people will drink them, and just leave them outside every night because it gets cool enough that when I wake up and I'm thirsty and I want my caffeine, it's already chilled just right.
I have left Monsters behind and discovered the Reigns. It's a whole new level of fucking awesome.
I'm a Red Bull guy. I love my Red Bull.
Red Bull, I think Red Bull's too sweet, and rain messes up my insides.
So
I think if you go based
So
entirely on YouTube videos, Bang is the winner by far. If y'all haven't looked up the Bang YouTube videos,
too bad
just
Bang is
that, like-
going out of business.
that freaking sucks because their videos on the videos that people submit on YouTube over Bang are freaking hilarious.
Well, they shouldn't
Highly
have having
recommend to watch.
creatine in their fucking drink.
Oh, they probably shouldn't have. That's true. Oh, that's dumb.
Oh,
well.
I kind of like Bang. I like that they. I like the fact that they had creatine in them because I would use those as a pre-workout like replacement.
They
What I
don't have
don't
creatine
like-
in them. That's the
Oh, they
thing.
don't.
They don't. They say they do, but they don't.
But my downside to Bang is if I drink one for the rest of the day, every 20 minutes I'm in the bathroom.
And it's the same color of the drink.
Yeah, actually.
I get that with Monster. It comes out the same color as Monster.
Even Sid's check it. She's like, "What the fuck do you mean it doesn't have creatine in it?" Yeah, Eddie's right. That happened months ago.
That's so good. What?
To go buy a Rain.
Or
Specifically,
you, some
what
of
is
these.
it? I have some of those setting back in the other room.
I finally found some up here. All per chance, too.
The rains are really good.
How do these have an expiration date?
I
I got
doubt
this
it.
like 2 years ago. I just never had it. It's just been in my basement.
It's
Handed
like
to me.
wine. It doesn't expire. There's so
Yeah.
much citric acid in that shit that it's not going to go bad.
Awesome. Yeah, it was handed to me by a guy named Ducky.
Checks out.
Ducky, where are you now?
And what was Ducky trying to do?
He was embarrassed because he was
You
about to
ain't
get
got
away.
it.
He was about to go to work, and the guys on his shift were making fun of him for having a bang on the shift.
I mean, I'd rather have a bang than a White Claw.
Yeah.
Four Loko.
The original Four Locos.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
just barely old enough to remember.
Never had one, thank God, but I heard the stories and saw some aftermath.
Oh, they were everywhere when I was in high
Phenomenal.
school. I remember the stories anyway, not the actual Four Loko itself. But I don't know if any of you guys were ever on the Shade Tree Discord, like kind of a couple of years ago. But there was actually this brief period there where everybody was drinking Bang Energy and like trying the different flavors. It's the only time I ever tried to really do energy drinks, and I made my chest feel funny after a while, and I said, nope, we're not doing this anymore.
See, I miss when
What?
rock stars were good.
See, I
They're still
I
good. They just
remember-
have so much freaking sugar. All the new energy just have no sugar, and they're awesome.
I remember when I was first introduced to Monster, I picked up 2 of the regular Monster PFCs, and I had 2 friends spending the weekend with me, and I drank both in one night, like within a 4-hour time span, 2 PFCs, and I was caffeine sensitive. I didn't sleep that weekend, and it was really odd being awake and just like feeling all of that stuff in my system.
2 Monsters is like a fucking hour and a half experience for me. And then I
But-
come back
well-
wanting more.
But the BFCs, the first time ever having
Yeah,
them and like that
just-
much caffeine, I was like wired and ready.
God damn it, I hit my elbow.
I have TP in my bunghole. TP in my bunghole. Hole.
Oh,
That's the quality podcasting I'm looking for.
Well, what Aaron was just talking about, that just reminded me of his Beavis and Butthead and how Beavis got sugar high, didn't he? Wasn't he sugar high when he was doing all that?
I don't remember.
Yes.
It's been so
I've
long.
never watched it. Never watched the show.
We have strayed so far from
Well,
camping.
that was...
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Hold up.
Well, no, because I'm segueing to that part of the movie where they were whacking off in the camper.
Or that part of the movie.
You don't remember? No one saw this movie?
I mean, I remember Beavis and Butthead Do America. I don't remember anything like that, though. I remember Hank Hill coming out and being like, you know, y'all are the kids that are whacking off in my tool shed, but like, I don't know. I'm
Paul
glad
found a
that
skater on his Peter.
we had the references. Thank God.
Yep.
And that's where it ended.
I do
I have
remember.
one contact in, so I'm the Terminator.
hey guys, quick question.
42.
Oh,
Quick
god
answer.
damn, no, Aaron.
You nerds.
All right, so I noticed that this was kind of like a hot topic, and I ran into someone recently who was up in arms about the fact that her nephew, or hold on, her niece. All right, so I met this person at when I was checking out at a Home Depot, and they were saying, "Oh, you have a helmet on. You're a biker chick." I'm like, "Yeah, I guess." And she goes, "Do you do any long distance rides?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I mean, I've done a few." And she goes, "You know what? You probably don't do what my niece does. She
Okay.
trailers her bike. That ain't a real biker." And I'm like, "I don't know. That sounds like a real biker." What is everyone's opinion here on trailering? Because I got my own, but I want to hear everyone else's.
Depends on my mood. Like, I was going to trailer down with Aaron, and then I was almost ready to fucking just say, fuck it and ride. I'm not
If
opposed
it's
to doing it.
20 degrees, y'all should trailer your bikes.
Yeah,
Life's
I
too
would
short
say,
to freeze to death.
We're
like,
dumbasses, Rowdy. We're dumbasses over here.
Yeah, you
Listen,
don't want to
I
get
fell out of a
frostbite.
tree today at a gender reveal party. I'm right there with you.
yeah, I got frostbite just because I wanted to go camping with my friends. Like, across.
That's on you,
across the
Aaron.
country. It is on me. No, that is 100%
Like
on
you
me.
have,
You didn't,
And I
you
would
didn't
do it again.
prepare for
you
it.
only
I
want
did.
bragging rights while you still have toes. If you don't have toes anymore, your bragging rights are kind of null and void.
Well, I still
Just
have my
like the
toes, and I finally got all feeling back in them. So
Yay.
Good.
we're good.
Grab your
Good.
face off, little buddy.
See, my problem is I live up here in the fucking mountains, and I prefer to ride my bike actually as opposed to
I
trailer.
don't
I think it's
blame you,
easier,
Matt.
and I have much more fun doing it. However, I have all these dumb friends that insist on having events like, oh, let's go have a bike meetup in March. In the middle of March, and it's like, well,
So-
yeah, there's probably gonna be a friggin' nor'easter coming up the coast
Yeah,
when I'm
get
doing
fucked.
that. So I'm
Yeah.
guessing, I guess I'm trailering it, or I will either not come or die. And
Yeah.
flying got too damn expensive, so
No,
I wasn't left with much choice.
I guess to
Did
sum
you
it up, I think a
trailer
lot
all
of
the way to Florida?
Trailer. I put it in the bed of my pickup, and but I drove that all the way to Florida.
What I would have done is found somewhere to drop the car off and ride like halfway point, like get to the Carolinas or something, and then ride.
See,
And then
and
ride back.
I could have done that because my grandfather actually does live in North Carolina.
Well, there you go.
The problem was once I knew that I was gonna at least take the truck, I started like, oh well, I'll bring this and I'll bring that, and I just loaded my shit up with like way more crap than I was ever gonna fit on that Scout.
yeah.
So at that point, it was kind of the point of no return.
I will say that I think trailering has its place. Weather being one thing, the other thing being in the case of like, ideally me on my Rebel, I should not be doing the stupid long distance interstate rides like I've been doing because that's just begging for trouble.
No,
What is it?
it isn't.
You just gotta take your time with it.
Full send.
People
Always full
People
send.
used to go across the
But don't
country
worry,
on
you'll be one of us.
but,
soon.
like
Rest by
Like
the
in the-
long distance rides you do on your moped.
like in the beginning of the 20th century, people would do cross country trips on motorcycles that made like 20 horsepower. They weren't like these giant things. The roads were all
the
terrible.
max speed limit also wasn't fucking 80 miles per
75,
hour.
yeah.
And everyone
Yeah,
else.
Yeah, that
back
was also
then,
before
yeah.
everything's
Well, if that was really part of your concern, you could just like not do that
Yeah, okay.
and just take back roads. It would take you a lot longer, sure,
See,
it'd be a pain in the ass, but it
I
is
will be
doable.
right
Don't
back.
tell me it's not.
So it's just in my case, if I jumped on I-75 and went all the way south, it's a minimum 16 and a half hours. I've done that to not Tampa. I did that to St. Petersburg in my car last April with 3 friends. We left my place and we got there at almost on the dot 16 and a half hours later. So obviously I was speeding because we had to stop and get gas, take breaks and all that. But to do that ride on my Rebel is like 19 hours roughly minimum, and that's nonstop because of how often I have to stop and get gas. So it would actually be more cost effective for me to trailer down.
Real question for a second. Roughly out of what do you get out of range for a tank on the Rebel?
If I'm just doing interstate,
Mhm.
about 80 to 85 miles.
Okay, yeah, that is.
I think it would be more
really
cost
short.
effective to add more fuel tanks to your bike.
Yeah, you could do that.
Just start
do that.
stacking them.
So,
Yeah.
My
Fill
Scout.
the side bags with gas and just tie them into your fuel lines and fucking ride, dude. And don't get in a wreck. It'll blow up.
Look into those auxiliary fuel tanks. People with gold wings and Harleys put auxiliary gold fuel tanks on their bikes.
I mean, I could look into that, or I could just get a bike better for road tripping.
Get a V-Strom.
Yeah.
Yeah, get it.
Yeah.
V-Strom.
Get a
You'll still have a
Road
moped.
Limited.
Get a Rocket 3. Send it.
I'm still not sold on going straight to the baggers yet. I'm still.
GT, baby.
I've got a couple things that I'm looking at. Waiting on some test rides, see how I feel about certain bikes.
55 miles to the gallon with a 5-gallon tank. My V-Strom goes as far as my minivan.
Conquers. Bleak, I don't know if I'm tall enough for a concourse. I am but a
Dude, you're
short
tall
little
enough for
man.
anything. Just lean it. Just lean it.
Yeah.
Follow
Whenever I
Doodle.
come to a stop, just have it like that. With my
Dude,
one leg.
Doodle is like 3'2" from what I've heard, and so
I
she
think
can
she's
handle
like,
all that stuff.
I think she was like
Like,
5'6", 5'7", but I'm not nearly as badass as Doodle.
oh, you totally are, man. I've seen you
can.
at Coyote Ugly on videos, and you're totally that badass.
You can be as badass as you want. That's the beauty of it.
Exactly.
Yep.
Alice Cooper's real name is Vincent, and he's a spindly little guy, but he's Alice fucking Cooper, dude.
Yes, he is.
You got this. That's my encouragement for the night.
I don't think that if you trailer, it makes you any less of a biker. Because, dude, everyone has like different injuries and stuff. So kind of like bring it back to the point, like if you need to trailer, like let's say, dude, Yankee here, it was like snowing pretty bad in our area, probably when you were traveling down, right?
Yeah, where I was actually sleeping the night before at my parents' place, we only got a couple inches and most of it melted. But Western Mass, where I was going through that night, got did some of those places get 2 feet, something like that? It was like the worst nor'easter of the year. Just happened to hit for that specific spot anyway. I know up here got like 9, 10, 11 inches depending on where you were. So about a foot was average. So yeah, it was a bad scene.
Yeah,
Salute
yeah. So
everybody.
like, there's no disrespect to anyone who trailers down. Also, like, dude, a lot of people in the community have lower back injuries or have been into motorcycle accidents, or maybe they've done so many fucking trips that have been really, really far that hey, they already earned that respect, man. Like, and honestly, even the fact that you're just getting on twos, like that's enough respect right there. Because there's a lot of people in this country that just won't even do that because they're too chicken shit.
Well,
So,
Step Trucker's got a road sofa now.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, let's face it, Jared Weems has got a trailer of his stuff around most of the time, just out of practicality, because he's doing choppers or like something he built for racing. You want to tell me that guy's not a biker?
No, he's fucking awesome.
Right, yeah, like you want to look me square in the eye and try to convince me of that? I'd look at you like Rowdy's looking at us right now.
Yeah.
You know, I kind of want to peel off with a secondary question with camping off of Sid's, like trailering. What about tent camping versus like a camper, like a pool behind camper or RV? Is that camping?
That's still that's more glamping, but it's still camping.
Yeah.
Because
That's
you can't tell me that Windroad doesn't camp.
That's true.
I had to pull out the kumquat helmet just for the weather that Yankee was talking about. I can't know. Humans aren't meant to supposed in those conditions, dude.
Humans can. We're
Humans
fucking
can.
Nords, bitch.
Have you seen the Norse? Do you know of them? What about the Eskimos? They thrive in that kind of...
Anyway, I love it.
Of course, it would be you, Goon. But I don't know. When it comes to like trailers and stuff, sure, I could see those as camping. But when I see someone that has an RV that is like 12 times nicer than most houses I've ever been in, and they've got like a full bar TV setup in the side of the RV that's just like hidden behind a panel, I can't call that camping.
No.
I don't even think I could call that glamping. That is just straight up you have a house on wheels.
Oh yeah, it's a motor home.
Yeah.
Right.
But like pool behind trailers, campers, things like that, I would definitely consider that glamping. And there's nothing wrong with that.
Oh, you definitely have to be a toy hauler.
Yeah, I mean, there's been many a time it's like, oh, it's 80 degrees outside at night, and there's no wind flow, and I'm just laying in a pool of sweat on top of my air pad, disgusting, hating myself. And I'm like, you know what? Being in a camper or something with at least a fan blowing on me would be nice right now.
What about those camping fans that Jess has?
I'm too cheap for that. I also don't have the room to pack that on my Rebel.
20
Get a
bucks.
big bike.
Well,
Yes, the answer is bigger bike.
it is a bicycle with an engine, so.
Yes, yes.
I'm thinking no matter what I get next, I think I'm gonna have to get the top box on it, or what are they called? Tour pack.
Yeah.
Yes. I've been looking at one for the lowrider.
I know.
Have you?
Oh yes. I
They
can
make a
link it
tour
in
pack
chat
for
really
the
quick.
lowrider?
Yes.
Oh, it's you gotta kind of like finagle some of the connector points, but yeah, Moto Blonde actually does a really, really good detailed review of what it's like putting one on, and she goes through the different sizes. I think it was Hogworks that she bought hers from.
I think Hogworks and maybe Advent Black are the two companies. I don't know if they Advent Black does one for the Lowrider S. I know they do one for the ST, but it's the same.
Pretty much. So,
Great.
you guys look in chat. We got a couple requests.
Do we?
Well, Sid brought up contingency gear. And then Bleak wants to hear about what we have to learn, what we can tell from learning from our experiences.
Bring
Okay.
contingency gear.
Bring contingency gear.
Um,
No planning. Sleep under the
do it.
stars.
Don't forsake your toolkit for extra room for camping gear.
So
Yeah, that one I will agree with.
I've never carried a toolkit, not even tire plugs.
Same.
you also didn't you run into an issue with your cable snapping or something?
Yeah, putting my bike onto a trailer.
Oh shit. I forgot the
Hitting
trailer
them
was
with a
involved.
low blow.
Yeah, trailering this diesel, clearly.
To mirror Paul, I've never had like a toolkit. I've had a set of Allen wrenches with me, which can only really get my battery out and my seat off, but that's about it.
Also had Hondas and Goldwings, so they're not really that important. Now that I have a Harley, I
You
actually
need to
have a
get a toolkit.
toolkit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I did buy a toolkit for it.
yeah, definitely get the toolkit for the Harley. I wish they came in with like custom ones that were specific for your bikes, and like the ones that like they gave you tools that were actually focused more on like your most prevalent bolts and stuff. That'd be
Like,
cool.
I think like the toolkit Rainey has for his BMW.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like super specific to the bike.
Yeah, but
I
Of course,
found
Eddie
one
would
on
know we have a tour
Amazon.
pack because Eddie's one of us, Sid.
I found one on Amazon for a little over $100, and it's got just about anything you need to take the bike apart. And it's a little roll bag. It's not that big. It's actually kind of an impressive toolkit. Maybe I'll share the link to it on the Discord.
okay,
That wouldn't be
so-
bad.
Be good.
So back onto the contingency gear. There's a few like I like to travel minimalist. Sometimes I bring my walk because I'm trying to be fancy, but most of the time I travel very minimalist because I know I'm going to be picking up stuff along the way. Like when I go to Peach World and buy Aaron some peach nectar, but which he never drank.
I've been sipping on it. It's
So
good. I'm waiting to share it when we can mix it with something.
okay, all right. So
So next month,
what-
got it.
what I always like to bring a knife, bring some sort of fire starter, and fire starters don't need to be like a special thing you buy at Walmart or like a camping store. Doritos work really well. Any sort of corn chip works extremely well as a fire starter. So if you want to save space but you also want snacks, like you could save space like that.
Big lighters too. Just like
Yeah.
they're cheap.
Yep.
Throw about 100 of them in your bag and just like put them in different places. You'll start fires.
That
Yeah.
or a bottle of lighter fluid and a.
Yeah, some people are like, oh well, you need a flint stick and stuff. If you have a empty lighter, you still have the sparking and the flint from the lighter. That works really well too. You don't have to buy extra stuff if you already have something for it, you know.
It's
But
funny, Sid, that you mentioned.
Be
sorry,
safe,
go
Eddie.
ahead.
one second, Yankee. I just want to get this before I forget it. All right,
Pop
sorry. Yeah. So another thing is the Mylar. The Mylar blankets and stuff. Those things are a lifesaver. Just make sure you know when to use them and how to use them, because it's so easy to start sweating, and sweat is the one thing you don't want to do in cold weather, because it'll drop your body temp. That's the way your body cools down. As soon as that cold air hits you, your body drops in temperature so quickly.
Yep, that is absolutely true. There is a reason all those old deer hunters wear those plaid wool coats, because wool is nice and breathable. And when you are walking around in the snow in those things, you do not sweat like you do like in a lot of the heavy Cabela's gear, and stuff like that makes a world of difference.
And if you can't afford wool, synthetic fleece is the shit. Like truck stop fleece blankets are awesome.
But yeah, so it was funny that you mentioned the Doritos thing, because I remember a while back Field and Stream actually did a test of different snacks as fire starters like that. If I remember correctly, they came to the conclusion that the best one was actually Funyuns.
Really?
Because they burned the longest and the hottest out of any of the starters. But they all work because of the oil in them. They go right up. So yeah, you can use them. So
Also, spoons. If you guys have a camping spoon, like a proper metal camping spoon, you could use that to open up cans. It's a lost art.
all right,
Actually,
my uncle's dog is barking. I'll be right back. I just gotta make sure nothing's wrong.
Say another thing I notice a lot of people forget is some type of drinking apparatus, not like that you can contain water or something that can seal. So it doesn't even have to be big. Just like I don't have one personally, but I've started to notice a lot of people in their minimalist camping kits are starting to include those like collapsible rubber or latex like water bottles.
Mm-hmm.
And I think about like some of those things can pack down to where it's like it's hardly bigger than a coaster.
Yeah, I have
But
one.
yeah.
I just never use it. I always carry it's kind of like a life straw. So you can just fill your water bottle up and then stick your straw down in it, and it'll filter the water as you drink it, so you can pull from just about any source.
I mean, that's definitely a little more survivalist than I was intending, but
Also, if you don't want to purchase one of those collapsible little drinking apparatuses, if you have like a metal cup, you can also store and like organize a lot of your drinking stuff, or even like cutlery inside of that. Use it as a storage and organizing like thing. So when you pack it, you could Tetris more stuff together and really pack it down. Because really, you're gonna want some extra space. You're gonna want to be able to carry stuff that you find as you're going on your adventures, like some trinkets or whatever, to bring back to your family. Or maybe you go and you buy more shirts because they sell those campout shirts that everyone should buy. But it's just another way to organize.
also always bring more pairs of socks than you think you need.
Yes.
I didn't do that this camp out, and it got nasty.
I always
Socks
bring
especially-
twice. If I'm going out for 3 days, I bring 6 pair of socks. If I'm going out for 3 weeks, I bring 8 pair of socks. But I always do laundry on those bigger trips.
If you don't bring socks and stuff like that, just bring cash, or have something available that you can just go buy socks from.
There's always like at least a dollar store not too far from you.
Years ago, I used to bring the full amount, like underwear and socks, and then I would always buy just the, whatevers, and I would throw them out every day, so I would gain more room on the bike. Just cheap shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I think like between the more socks, definitely. What else? The snacks, the Doritos that could also double as fire starters. A good camping spoon. All this stuff is like super minimalistic too. You could pack it down in a tiny little container, or a cup. Personally, I like the little stoves just in case. I know a lot of people don't want to cook when they're out, but it's one of the ways that I save money with either
Well,
rehydrating food.
one of those nice things about some of those like micro stoves is they come
Hmm.
with that large deep cup that the whole thing fits inside of, kind of like goons,
Hmm.
which you can then also still store like your other cutlery and another cup and stuff inside of.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Paul, you have a question. What does doing laundry on the road look like? Like, how much does it cost?
I just go to a laundromat. So a couple bucks a load. Are you referring to being as a truck driver or at truck stops? I mean, because they have laundry too. There'll tend to be about $3 a load, $3 to wash, $3 to dry. But on a motorcycle camping trip, I just find a laundromat. $10 will do all your laundry
Yeah.
or less.
Bleak was asking in chat.
Oh, okay. Yeah, or if you're staying at friends, I tend to do that. I kind of route my way through so I can see friends, and I'll always do a load anytime I can, even if it's 2 days worth of clothes. I'll do my laundry every other night if I can, if I'm at a friend's house.
Yeah.
Not a bad idea. Just keeps your stuff clean and fresh and ready.
Yeah,
Stay away.
keeps things organized too, because uh, I tend to just throw my dirty clothes I keep a saddlebag open specifically for dirty clothes and tchotchkes and snacks and drinks, and stuff like that. So it always keeps the saddlebag nice and clean.
It's not that. I like that.
Eddie,
That's not a
I
bad idea.
agree. I do like titanium sports.
Yeah, they're cool. Um, Also, if do we have any adventure riders or people who go like off the beaten path to small towns? Because there's not always laundromats available. So,
I honestly
if you're
prefer the
into,
small town route.
I
yeah,
I don't know. I grew up in a pretty small town, and we still had a laundromat.
hmm,
You'd be surprised on how many laundromats are out in small towns and or truck stops.
yeah. If I mean, I'm kind of a noob to
Well,
it, so like,
even a lot of hotels now, like coming back last October, the hotel I decided to stop at after getting drenched for 4.5, 5 hours. The lady when I was checking in, she's like, "Hey, we have like a coin operated dryer if you just want to dry your clothes."
No.
tell someone they stink. Oh wait, sorry, she didn't say wash them.
Well, no, she had a washing machine too, but she could see that I was like dripping in rainwater in the middle of their lobby.
And if you go to the smaller hotels and not like the Holiday Expresses and Comfort Inns, but if you go into the Mon Pa, you park in front of your hotel type of thing, like right in front. A lot of times they cater to motorcycles and they have washers and dryers that you can use for free, along with stuff to wipe your bike down in the morning. So I tend to stay at those. Don't get me wrong, I do bougie it up every once in a while and get a nice high rise and all the fancy stuff. But if I do a hotel room, it's usually at those motel ones. It's kind of a little sketchiness to them, but not horrible.
That's how you know they're fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, those are sometimes the best ones. Sometimes they have some great breakfasts in the morning, or they, like I said, a lot of these places supply wash stuff so you can wash your
Yeah.
motorcycle too.
Hmm.
And one thing that I think it's something
Hey,
I would
Tony.
probably utilize more if I ever do like long time frame trips on a bike is I have a Planet Fitness membership. I pay for the advanced membership that grants me access to any facility, and that's full access. Um, they always have hot water with good water pressure, and I'm like 90% sure every one of those places will provide body wash, shampoo, conditioner. I think you just have to bring your own towel, which if you get a couple microfiber towels, they dry super quick. Um, so if you, even after you use it, if you roll it back up, put it back in its container, but if you like tie it to the outside of your saddlebag so it can get some airflow through it, it'll dry out on its own.
Yeah.
When you say microfiber towel, are you talking about the little rags or the camping ones? They're like
No, like the
larger.
camping beach microfiber towels.
Yeah, okay,
Um,
because that's what I use. Yeah, okay.
yeah,
Yeah, I have one of those.
and I don't know about some Planet Fitnesses, but I know other gyms you can get like a 1 day pass membership, and they actually have like a little dryer you can drop microfiber towels in, and it hits it with hot air and it spins it, um, like it would if it was an actual dryer, and they'll dry out within like a minute. But at least with Planet Fitness, those things are everywhere. They're in small towns, they're in cities. You know, I have full access, so if I'm doing a long, 3 week trip, I could get a workout in, I could get a hot shower, and then I could also use the hydro massage table if my back's really feeling tense and messed up, because they have those. But other gyms, I know, like, what is it? I think Gold's gym is similar. They have like a full restroom facility, showers, and all that. And I think they also do a membership where you can use any facility like that. So if you're camping along the way, but you're worried about the campsite having a shower facility to use, you could also look into maybe certain gym memberships or seeing if gyms have a 1 day pass that you can utilize so you have access to a hot shower and other facilities.
Truck stops,
Truck stops as well.
12 to 15 bucks for a shower. A lot of them have gyms. They're not the greatest, but truck stops, they got the laundry, they've got the works.
I'm also a huge fan of KOA.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You guys use
KOA, state parks.
Yep, state parks.
Go ahead.
The KOAs
Yeah.
have nice bathrooms though.
They do.
Yeah,
do,
if you go to the state parks, I found being out in the mountains, there's a lot of those state parks. There's not really any guards or anything, so I'd always come in the main entrance, and their bathrooms always have showers. They're very rudimentary, and you got to keep pushing the button to have the water keep coming on. But it's a shower, it's a bathroom, it's free. You take a half an hour and you could be in and out showered and on your way again.
Oh yeah.
That's not a bad idea.
Also, oh, I'm sorry, Paul.
No, I'm done.
Okay. If you're like really, really out in the sticks and you're like hurting to do laundry bad, or let's say you're doing any dirt roads too, if you get a dry bag and if you have a little bit of soap, like let's say you're doing some camping adventures or traveling, if you have a dry bag, put your dirty laundry in there, put a little bit of soap in there and some water. We call it gray water. You can actually just like put it on your bag as you're going through like any of the dirt roads you're going to be traveling on, and the bumps alone just help toss and agitate that stuff, get them really clean, and then when you need to dry it, you just strap it to your bag, like the outside. That works pretty well. I've done that a few times. I've actually
5 gallon bucket. I've never done it with a dry bag. That's really smart. That's
yeah, well, there's times I was camping with some family and I put all my dirty laundry in a bag and I was like, "Hey guys, let's play football." So we used the bag as a football thing and we were just tossing it back and forth like playing catch and shit, and that did my laundry.
So Paul, Eddie wants to know what the best truck stop brand is.
It's a personal preference, but right now, Love's, they have so many brand new locations and they keep their properties pretty good. So I'd have to say Love's. Also Pilot and Flying J's. They're currently putting like $1 billion into their business and remodeling every location. So I'd have to say Love's, Pilot J, and Pilots right now.
That's good too, because the Flying J's and the Pilots have been getting long in the tooth, but the Loves have been looking nice.
Loves are popping up everywhere. I think last year they put up like 75 new truck stops throughout the country. It was an unbelievable amount of numbers.
I will say, when I'm traveling, be it in a car or a bike, I do try to do my gas stops and stuff more at truck stops because there's a lot less tomfoolery I'll phrase it like that goes on at them. I've never been to a Love's that wasn't super clean and
Right.
I didn't or it felt sketchy. Every Love's I've ever stopped at has had some of the cleanest bathrooms, had some of the nicest staff.
Well, you
And-
go out west, you'll sing a different tune because some of their locations out in Arizona. Of course, we're talking middle of the desert. Some of them are pretty rough.
Mhm.
But their business plan is their truck stops tend to be smaller and always packed quicker, but it gives them better access to clean the property, manage the trash, and truckers trash everything they touch. So, but Love's does probably the best job of keeping their properties the best.
All right. Let's see. Gmon wants to know if we were done with the essentials discussion. I know we got stuck on a few topics there for a bit. Aaron, do you have anything to add to the essentials? Like what you absolutely need to bring? Like no bullshit or anything that, from your experience of leaving out, that you wish that you had had?
It definitely, I mean, it's going to be a common sense thing, but like layers, having appropriate layers. Because every time that I have left on a bike, even for like local camping, going to like camp out at the quarry or lowbrow get down, I noticed as I got to my campsite there were other things I didn't bring, like shorts. I never packed sleepwear. I always packed like my day wear. But when I sleep, I'm typically sleeping in my underwear, anyways. But when it's colder, and all I got are my dirty jeans covered in spilt beer, dirt, grime, dust, and oil, I don't want that in my sleeping bag. So
no, go ahead.
So I've kind of come to a rule that now, like, anytime I forget something, after I get camp set up, I'm just going to make a trip to Walmart or whatever a local store is that I can get certain things at. Like, I should have this past October camp out. I should have went to Walmart, got a tent, got pajama pants, and got a different pair of shoes. Because as much as I love my Indy Ridge boots, at the end of the day, they are still motorcycle boots. They are not comfortable play shoes.
Bullshit.
Real quick, you don't have to go to Walmart for that stuff. Dollar General, Dollar Tree, Love's. A lot of those places are going to, and it's not so much for your benefit, Aaron, as much as it is just like for our audience benefit. Like, you can find sleepwear at a lot of places. I needed to bundle up on a recent ride because I'm an idiot and I went out way too cold, and I hit a random gas station in BFE, and I was able to add like 2 or 3 or 4 layers to my clothing, and that made my ride suck just a little bit less, but it still pretty much sucks.
Right.
Anyway, yeah.
So there's that, and then always kind of I pack probably more toiletries than I need. I could definitely slim down on that. So as much as like packing necessities, there are things that I always pack that I definitely don't need or I can get once I'm there.
No chicken? I'm good then.
You don't want no more chicken?
Baby wipes.
Potatoes.
Baby wipes do a lot, yeah.
Oh, I said there's more
Oh.
chicken.
Hand sanitizer, that's another thing. I always pack like a tiny thing of hand sanitizer
Yeah.
because being on the road, you hit a lot of gas stops, you hit some nasty gas stations that aren't maintained well, and you just feel grimy when you walk out. My mother is a germaphobe, so every Christmas in like stockings and stuff, you get like 3 or 4 little of like the pocket, or you put them in the weird sling things that like you would attach to a pocketbook or a backpack. I've got tons of those. I always carry one of those with me when I'm on a bike.
Can I have the Cholula, please? Oh, no. So, I think I might have a solution to your first, like your forgetting sleepwear. I'm trying to figure out how to word this one, because I know Matt's probably gonna know what I'm talking about. Paul might. I know Aaron will. Well, not Aaron, but Rainey will. But there are certain shorty shorts that you can get. Well, we call them ranger panties, but you can use them as both like your everyday underwear, but also use them as, yeah, talking about this, I need a long draw too, but you could also use those as sleepwear
Yeah.
because you can get them with liners or without, so they're highly versatile and extremely comfortable. Baby wipes 110%, or dude wipes, however you want to look at it. Hand sand, I mean, yeah.
Oh, probably another thing that is more recent right now because allergies have been really messing me up for the past 2 weeks. Not Benadryl. My eyes tend to get
unconscious.
true, but my eyes sometimes I notice on the road, especially when I'm not hydrating properly, get really dry and irritated. Eye drops, just hydrating eye drops are probably going to be another thing I start carrying with me regularly when I do long distance on the bike.
That's actually just a good bet in general. I've had debris go around my glasses and into my eye,
Yep.
and flushing it out was like the thing that saved me from, possibly more eye damage.
If you want to go for full volume, saline solution, like contact, just regular contact solution, use it as eye drops. Emily does it, and the first time I saw her do it, I was like, huh, that's weird. But yeah, you just kind of squirt that stuff in your eye, and it does a good job of just irrigating everything and moisture and stuff.
It's not a bad one.
Yeah.
I hadn't thought about that.
Yeah, it's been a more recent thought, especially in the last couple of weeks, because I've been getting these rides in, even though my allergies I've never had allergies this bad in my life. Last 2 weeks, my eyes have just felt like sandpaper, even right now, which is why, like, at the beginning of the stream, you saw me put a couple drops in. It helps a lot, and I don't know if I'll ever not have some eye drops at the ready anymore, because it's a huge difference rather than just making myself deal with the irritation.
How do you guys feel about baby powder?
Yes. I didn't bring any this last camp out, but I did in October.
Always have baby powder.
There's a little
Yeah.
tiny thing of it.
Yeah.
It's good for chafing with long rides, and it's also great, I found out, to put inside your socks if you know you're going to have sweaty feet that day.
Yep.
Yeah.
I learned that the hard way.
Tips
You
and
could have
tricks.
asked.
Yeah,
I
think my
tend
dad
to
always
stick
was
with
so proud of it.
Vaseline because it works for other things too. Like it's good for just stopping rust from getting on metal and shit like that. So I like Vaseline probably more than I like baby powder. But then
Really?
again, to be fair, I haven't used baby powder very much.
Wait, it stops rust from getting on things?
Yeah, it stops water, and so because it stops water, it stops rust. And it's it's a petroleum product, so it's made from
Yep.
it grew up with metal, so they get along pretty good.
Alrighty, what are your essentials that you would bring, or that you something that you've learned that you should have brought?
Wine.
What?
In
Wine.
general with camping.
Wine.
In
Oh,
general,
wine.
camping wine is like top of the list.
When dealing with y'all, alcohol is definitely a necessity.
Oh, it's not that bad.
But the wine's cousin, vinegar, is also great. Like you can use it to purify water. It's got a high acidity, but it's also pretty much safe for just about anything. It's a perfect cleaning solution. Like as much vinegar as I can get into a container, I love carrying vinegar. So just more of a, like, from keeping things clean. Like, yeah, everything smells like a freaking salad, but it's a good cleaning agent.
Fair enough. Paul, what about you?
Everybody's doing it right. I mean, I tend to underpack or overpack. But rain gear, I always bring the rain gear.
Something we have yet to mention at all. Like, we've all just completely glossed over rain gear.
What's that?
Yeah. I use fishing waders, nylon fishing waders. for my rain gear. Straps, always have straps or some kind of tie downs. Toiletries, always some kind of ibuprofen or Advil or something like that. Deodorant,
Hey, Flip.
and plenty of socks. I mean, if you're, like I said earlier, if you're going on a 3-day trip camping, bring 6 pair of socks. And your shirts, bring 5 shirts. Pants, you could generally get away with wearing pants for 3 days in a row, depending on weather.
Yeah, that's something I keep hearing, and not that we've mentioned it a lot, but especially at the Forgotten Angels camp out back in October, it seemed like damn near everyone that I talked to had forgotten deodorant, and they were just
See,
I completely forgot, man.
I purposely go out, even if I don't plan on traveling. I always get a couple of those tiny little, the tiny travel ones, because I have had grown up friends coming over all the time. They forget to pack them. It's like, okay, here's a tiny little one for you to use, and just take it with you because that's yours now.
See, whenever
They don't take up much room. It's easy if someone forgot one to say, hey, here, haven't used it yet. It's brand new, and it's like, what, 50 cents?
yeah,
And you can get a solid, like, if you were just using that, you get like an entire month out of one of them.
yeah.
So if you use it just for camping, it'll last you. If you camp a lot, it would still probably last you like all year.
See, I just pull when I go camping, I just pull my my toiletries out of my go bag and just put it in my camping bag. Yankee.
So I don't think anybody has mentioned this one yet. And like everything, it's going to depend on, where you're going and where you're hanging out. And some may disagree. But for me, one of the things that I can never go without now whenever I'm camping is some kind of chair. I find it extremely annoying not having a place to sit somewhere around like a campsite. And you can try sitting on the ground, but as we've been over, that's not always the greatest idea, and it gets old quick. I have like I think I got it from REI or something, but it's like one of those folding bath chair things. Basically packs up like yay big, and it's essentially just a little more than a stool, but I find that to be very worth trying to make the space for. Is just to have a place to sit down and rest your feet and rest your butt. Very, very, very important to me.
I'll 100% agree with you on that one, Yankee. The problem that I run into is those chairs aren't made for large humans such as myself.
They are not. It is very true.
For us weirder shaped folks, blankets. Basically, you can turn any surface into a halfway decent seating surface if you have a blanket. It helps a lot. Like, it keeps the ants away and all that stuff, which especially down here in Florida is a big deal. But I carry a blanket in my backpack, and I'll take off work during the day to go have my lunch break or whatever, and literally I'll just sit by the bushes at a Starbucks with a blanket in my laptop and get work done. It's weird. I get stupid looks, but I don't give a shit. Life's too short for me to care about that crap.
If they only knew you.
All right, Sid. We saved the best for last.
Awkward silence. Cricket, cricket, cricket.
Wait, get me back on track. I was paying attention to the chat for a second, and I kind of hyper-focused on it.
She went ADD.
Absolute essentials, like just some small ones that we haven't really mentioned that you have to have when you go camping, or just in general have to have on your bike at any time.
Okay. I mean, there's a few. I think I really like bringing the blanket, but I mean, like, obviously for camping, at the very least bring a tent, Aaron.
No, thank you.
Because I mean, shelter's really one of the biggest things. Find a way to keep warm. That's the biggest thing when camping. Don't always expect to have a fire available, because either it could be too late to start a fire, too wet to start a fire, or it might not be permitted in your area.
Or it might just
So
be too cold for the fire to help.
exactly. And also being you can't bring that fire into your tent. Keep that in mind. Like you're gonna have to be out there in the wind around your fire to try to keep warm. It's like no, just focus on bringing enough to keep warm inside of your tent, like proper clothing, base layers, blanket, something get yourself off the ground but is insulating you against the ground, so it's not seeping that heat away from your body. Yeah,
You can bring a fire into the tent if you're careful. You just have to be very
Oh.
careful.
I mean, like a lot of the tents they make nowadays, it's really hard to do that safely because a lot of it's not rated for heat. Like, if you have a tarp or something, like a canvas tent, that's a lot easier in my opinion to do. But that's also very hard to pack on a bike.
The Coleman candle lanterns. I don't know if you guys have tried those. I think Coleman makes them. There's some others. They have a pretty decent like heat dissipation spot on the top, and you can get some relatively decent warmth out of that if you have a small enough tent. So just a candle, some tea lights, whatever. It helps. Like when your hands are freezing, it helps.
My fingers almost froze off this past camp out.
Ooh, another bushcrafting trick. Take hot water, put it in your water bottle, put that in your sleeping bag.
Yeah, that works
That
really
helps
well.
a lot.
I did that on this past camping trip in the 20-degree weather just to get some, because my body, it was so cold that my body was not producing enough heat to put into my sleeping bag. So what I ended up doing was I left, filled my water bottle up with hot water at the KOA, and then brought that with me. Like heated up a blanket too. I put that under the little hand dryer thing. Heated that up, brought it all back into my tent as quickly as I could, and then stuffed it into my sleeping bag just to try to get some warmth and like a layer of hot
Oh
air.
yeah. If you
Yeah.
can get hot water, can't remember what it's called. It might have been called a bladder. My dad used to do it all the time when he worked in the coal mine.
Mm.
It's like a flat rubber vessel for containing specifically hot water. And he would like lay and like put it under the small of his back because he'd get like really tight in the muscles in his lower back. But yeah, something like that that you can store next to boiling water in. If you could get it that hot, put it in your sleeping bag like 20 minutes before you plan to go to bed, and then just like push it toward where your feet would be in the sleeping bag, especially when it's going to be colder. Because the two biggest places you lose heat out of your body is your feet and your head.
They carry those bottles at pharmacies, and we have them donated to the rescue. But it might be a little weird when you buy it because they're sold as douche and enema bottles. But really, it's the rubber hot water bottle that you want, and it comes with a cap. You can fill it up, throw it in your sleeping bag. But yeah, so you can find that stuff at like CVS and Walgreens.
Another trick that I didn't know until after I joined the army is that to counter losing the heat in your feet, you are actually supposed to sleep completely naked inside your sleeping bag.
Yep. Yeah.
You
So-
get in with your clothes on, but you take them off, and you roll your pants down to your feet. And then you take your shirt off, and you lay on it. Because you're adding another layer of insulation between
Yeah.
you and the ground.
See, and another thing, not so much camping, but in general, there are studies that show if you regularly sleep with the least amount of clothing on, so in my case, I always have underwear on, but if you sleep
Nerd.
completely in the nude, shut up. If you sleep completely in the nude, your body starts to get better at regulating its own temperature. And just in general.
Did you type that earlier, Matt? I didn't see it.
Another thing too, especially when traveling on the bike, if you're like layering up because it's really cold out, or let's say you went through a whole bunch of different climate zones, if you take your layers of clothing, like I use my jacket, my leather jacket, as a way to insulate between my pad and my sleeping bag. I'll like put it on my sleeping pad and then put another blanket over, and then I'll put my sleeping bag on top of that. like put the clothing that you're going to be wearing, especially your base layers, either under you or in your sleeping bag so you can heat that up and have something warm when you get up.
Yeah, I did that last October camping up here when I knew I was going to be changing out of like the sleep layers I brought. I would wake up, and then for like the next 2 hours before I decided to get out my sleeping bag, I would grab whatever clothes I'm going to wear and stuff them down in the bag, start warming them up so they weren't, you know, 40 degrees and like shocking me when I tried to change. But sleeping on top of them or with those in the bag would have made more sense.
Oh,
Fuck you,
and
Rainy.
hand warmers. Bring hand warmers.
Just
They don't
remember,
take up
Rainy,
much room.
100 leave on a boat or the submarine. 50 couples come back.
We're talking about the Navy?
In the Navy.
Get in here and
Jesus.
talk shit if you're gonna talk shit. Don't hide behind your keyboard, big boy.
So the whole sleeping naked in your sleeping bag, like I've never
a
heard
legitimate
that
thing.
actually helped. I've
Even
never heard
Matt's
that
even
before.
in the chat. He's
No,
like,
I
typed
I
that
know.
earlier.
I saw that. I've never heard that before. That's a new
Yes.
one to me.
Sleep naked.
100%.
You trying to catch a peek? Is that why you're saying that now?
I'm trying to help Mike out, buddy.
I usually do that in the summer
No,
anyway.
the
It's
thing
very
is, Mike goes to
embarrassing
bed
story.
too early.
It was really cold. One of our first field exercises that I went to. My squad leader came over to get me up from my guard, and he's like, "Get dressed." I'm like, "I'm already dressed, Sergeant." He goes, "What the fuck are you doing? Still dressed? Get naked, you fucking weirdo!" What?
Get naked, you fucking weirdo.
We might need that on a shirt.
Mm.
Oh, I can definitely put that on a shirt in the Weirdos Assembly section of the Goon Shop.
I would buy one. Get naked, you fucking weirdo. Isn't
They
that,
had
isn't that
the
a Patrick
Marines
line
to
from
keep us warm.
SpongeBob?
Oh no.
Let's get naked.
That's about the only thing the Marines are good for. They lost the contingency response force to the 18th Airborne Corps. We don't need Marines anymore. We have the Airborne.
Be back in just a minute.
The Navy can just reabsorb their little boys department back into the Navy.
Oh my god.
I'm gonna hop off for a little while. I gotta run Alice and Sammy, and then if you guys are still rocking, I'll jump back on when I'm done.
We'll see. All right, man. Have a good run.
All right, y'all be good.
See ya.
And we're back to 4.
And then there were 4.
So while I was walking away, I got a tingle in the back of my skull. It sounded like someone asked for God. I've returned. Who was it?
Was it me?
Nope.
I think it was Sid.
Someone may have asked you to damn something, but you know.
Also fair.
So Rainey said 30 minutes, so I haven't seen him yet.
Well, he only said that a couple minutes ago.
I
You know
thought he was
what-
going
you know
to
what-
give us 30 minutes. I don't know if we'll still be here in 30 minutes.
That's fair.
I feel like in honor of Rainy, we should mention that you should bring a med kit with
Oh,
you
yeah.
when
So I
traveling.
was actually thinking about that.
Yeah.
But you see, Rainey and Parker had this tremendous idea to make a sticker and
Hey,
design.
Diana.
Diana.
Okay, I'll let you pitch this because I was literally about to bring it up.
So you're putting on me? All right. So, as the little brother, I'll gladly be the one to do this. So, Rainey and Parker both came up with a sticker design called the Boo Boo Unit.
The Boo Boo Unit.
The Boo Boo Unit, and it's like a band-aid, and it's got both of their handles on it. One in, I think, in blue and the other in pink. And what's happening is Rainey opened up his own print shop, and if I remember what he said correctly, any profit that comes from the items, be they stickers, cups, shirts, etc., with the Boo Boo unit graphic on it, all the profit from that is going to go toward putting together a proper, fully kitted out med kit to leave at the Forgotten Angels property specifically for their events, campouts, and so on, since every year, or every campout, there are injuries like exhaust burns, or someone splitting their face open from falling face first into a bike. And I think that's a great idea.
Good night, Miss
Honestly,
Weezy.
yeah. I had no idea that they were doing that. I feel actually, you know what? I should order that hoodie then.
It was mentioned, I think, one time in one of the Discord chat rooms, and once,
Diana.
I think, verbally.
He actually put a post out today about the
The Boo Boo
profits
unit.
going to the Boo Boo unit.
Okay. Did he? Okay.
Yeah, it's
I
on
might have missed
Instagram.
that. I might have missed that while I was at Throttle Co.
Yeah. 9 mils. You have a big med kit because you could fit it in your setup because you have the best setup out of everyone here.
Don't be bothered, me too.
Honestly jealous of his setup every camp out I see, because he's got everything. It looks like I'm honestly just waiting to walk by one day and see like a full-sized grill just there with him going at it all day.
Well, I mean, he
Wouldn't even be
basically had
surprised.
he had his camping grill one year, and I was like, damn, I want to have breakfast with this guy, but I barely knew him at the time, and I was nervous to talk to him. But yeah, no, he has the best setup.
So yeah, Yankee, you come up with the design and we'll put it on the Goon Shop for the Get Naked Weirdo.
Get naked. Okay. I'll. I'm not much of an artist, but I'm sure I can think of something.
Aaron's like, oh god.
This is gonna be great if it's anything like the Bo Gator shirt that I saw him design.
I'm thinking maybe a couple of stick figures. One is like, got their head sticking out of a tent or something, and the other one's standing over him, screaming at him. That might be the play.
With a little speech bubble.
Yeah.
Get naked,
Get naked,
weirdo!
you weirdo. Yep.
Oh shit.
Oh, did you order the Trucker Paul poster that you asked me to put on there, Aaron?
Not yet. I ordered a bunch of t-shirts because I just threw a shit ton out and turned some into rags, so I need to get some new like covers for myself. But I will be getting the Step Trucker image to put somewhere in my office.
I can't wait to see that.
You'll have to come here and see it in person because I'm not going to have it where it shows up on the live
Oh,
stream.
it's bullshit!
Well, if it's on the live stream, then I can only see it here. But if I like put it on the wall behind this, I'm going to see it 90% of my day.
Okay.
Big brain thinking. Or I could put it on the back side of my door, so it's only noticeable when I close it.
Alright, anyway, getting back to camping. Enough shameless plugging. Is that shameless? Yeah, whatever.
Yeah,
Anyway.
buy stuff from Goon's store. Everyone just go there and buy stuff now.
Try to
your
buy
tits
Goon.
respectfully.
Try to buy Goon
Give-
himself.
Goon all of your money. That
Yes.
is
No,
what
no,
we're asking you to do.
no. Go give Rainey all your
I mean-
money.
If we're talking about just giving money, I will gladly take it.
Don't ever give anything to Aaron.
Yeah, no. But yeah, cover your tits respectively. You know, get a Goon shirt or a Rainy shirt.
Join the Discord, Mike. We're all in Discord.
Oh, yeah, so yeah, we're not using Riverside anymore. We're in Discord itself.
We have fully merged with Discord.
Because we get cool backgrounds, and I could blur out my basic ass setting that I'm recording in or whatever.
So that's part of the reason I didn't turn the light on tonight, because of how messy my office is. Also, because the light's hurting my eyes tonight.
Oh,
I just clearly had no fucks to give. So, you can see all my messy crap behind me.
See, that's my favorite background.
the hacksaws.
There he is.
There he is.
Ah,
Dun, 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 dun.
Suddenly loud. Hi, everybody.
He's here to talk shit in person now.
Hi, here I am. All right, I have no idea. I feel like old Windows 3.1 because I'm staring at the screen and I don't see anything, but I hear everybody's voices.
Okay, so
Are you on your phone?
Click
Music
the
and
live stream room.
Yeah. You have to enable
Okay, so I
the
click the
camera.
live stream room and I have. Let's see here.
In the bottom left.
Hey,
of
look,
the
it's
menu
me.
section.
There it
Yep,
is.
there you go.
You're coming in.
Here I am. Here I come. Here I come. Here
That's
I
what he
come
said.
to
Here he-
make problems.
Here he comes on the run with a burger and a bun.
You sure have changed a lot there, bud.
Wow.
Cyclops. Okay,
What?
what can I do? Well,
Okay, so we've covered cooking, 50 couples coming home from a Navy deployment, essentials. How's it going, Chris? What we normally carry when we go camping. Sid, have we missed any big things?
Yeah, bug spray.
Oh,
Ooh,
I usually bum it off other people because I
Have a good one,
keep
Gma.
forgetting to bring it.
you
There
freaking
he is.
parasite.
I figured it out. Okay, I've never used the Discord live stream before. I actually
There's that
tried
beautiful
earlier and I
face.
thought I just had voice, so I was like, oh, it must be a voice chat. No, I guess apparently if I would have kept clicking, there would have been camera. Well, hey everybody.
Just want to
Yeah.
say, I love the neon sign behind you that says Rainy Rider.
Yeah,
yeah.
that's cool.
Everybody likes it.
Very nice.
Okay.
So, since you're just getting in here, you got a lot of catching up to do, big boy.
I do. Where am I at?
All right.
So yes, I learned the
starters.
whole spy thing about Grogu. So yeah.
Okay. Starters. What do you carry on your bike when you go moto camping?
The tent, chairs. This time I actually left the chairs down there. Always carry 4 or 5 knives because you never know. People suck. Cameras, lots of batteries, lots of cords, lots of plugs, a solar charger that I can put out for emergencies to actually make some power for the phone. Always carry water. Always carry some kind of mucilix or granola or some kind of trail mix. Always have food. Don't carry beer because you can always get it when you get there. And a regular pair of glasses because I wear contacts, so I always wear spare. I always bring spare glasses. Sunscreen and bug spray.
So, real quick, if I can ask you a question, Rainy, and you, Yankee, because you both wear glasses. My friend who just finished his MSF course wears glasses. He has to wear them all the time. And it's something that I think it was Lolly mentioned in one of her videos about getting shatterproof lenses. Do both of you have shatterproof lenses in your glasses?
I do, but not because I need them. I do because that's what. Crazy thing, if you ever worked industry, they give you glasses that you need to wear 16 hours a day. They're safety glasses.
Yeah.
To make them extremely comfortable. Beside all of that, they're all Z87.1, so they're all shatter resistant safety glasses, but they make them comfortable because they know you're going to literally wear them the entire day. And if you take them off, that's a hazard to your health. They're not like regular glasses you can take off during the day for an hour at a time just to rest your eyes. They have to be totally comfortable. So that's a plus of having the safety type glasses is that they are extremely comfortable.
Okay.
That's not out of necessity, that's just out of they're easy to
Right.
wear.
Okay.
So I do not have shatterproof eyeglasses. When I'm actually on the motorcycle, it is a very rare occasion that I do not actually have something other than just these glasses on the front of my face. Even though I wear a half helmet, I typically have either cocoon sunglasses that go over it or something of that nature. I'm not the greatest person to ask because I can, even though I am like supposed to, wear my glasses at all time because I am slightly nearsighted, it is actually very minor, and I can see perfectly okay, really, without them. It's only just like reading signs at a distance that I would have problems with. So
Okay.
when I actually had my license in Mass, it had the B restriction on it, need to wear corrective lenses. When I went to get my license for New Hampshire, I went to the DMV, and they said, okay, put your face on this thing and do the vision test. And without even kind of thinking about it, I just sort of lifted my glasses up and stuck my eyes in it because it just felt like it would fit better that way, kind of like I'd be using binoculars. And I did the whole vision test without wearing the glasses, and the guy realized, he goes, hey, you took your glasses off, but you passed the vision test anyway. He goes, we could just take the restriction off if you want. And I said, well, sure, I guess.
Okay.
Not saying that anybody should aim to do that, but what I am saying is that I can actually see okay without it, so it's not that gigantic of a concern for me. But I usually do have something over the glasses anyway when I'm riding. I think the only time I do is like when I've like forgotten my yellows or my clears and I'm riding at night and I'm just going a short distance. Then yeah, I might just take them off and just look through my glasses.
So again, just part of the reason I asked is my friend, like I said, he has to wear his glasses all the time, and I don't know how good or bad his vision is, but after I saw a clip where Lolly was talking about it and how she wears shatterproof glasses and she'll get shatterproof like prescription sunglasses to wear inside her helmet, I did a little research and I found that it honestly doesn't matter what kind of helmet you wear, whether it's full face, fully encased or not. There are just certain ways impacts can happen that will cause the glass to break inward toward your eye, and that mortified me. So that was just one thing I kind of gave him as a cautionary tale of like, look into this. You're going to do whatever you want to do, but just for safety, just for generic safety, look into it. Because I found out that even though glasses seem quite durable, because I've seen them stomped on and survive and get put back on like nothing, it's still glass. It can still fracture and break and chip, and his wife's already a nervous mess just because he signed up for the MSF course and took it, let alone actually street riding. So any way to also mitigate her worries and just try to give him a little happier life with her.
Most glasses these days, anyway, aren't actual glass; they're poly. So because glass is about per square inch, glass weighs about 3 times as much as poly. So especially if somebody has really thick glasses, chances are they're going to be poly, not glass. And I haven't had an actual pair of glasses in probably 20 years.
See, I didn't know that.
I never have. Yeah, my stuff's always been polycarbonate.
I didn't know that.
The more important thing for glasses is to make sure they're comfortable inside the helmet.
Yes.
And again, going back to safety glasses, they make the legs very thin because they know you're going to have to wear a hard hat over them. You're going to have earmuffs over them. So that's more important than probably any kind of lens. And looking at the laws of, I guess the laws of probability, your problem with any kind of wreck is not really going to be something getting in your eye. It's going to be your head getting into something else. So for helmet purposes, probably more important that you get a good helmet with a good lens than glasses.
Yeah. Well, it's just another thing that he, as someone who has to wear glasses all the time, I think should be considerate of. And I never thought about that before until, like, granted, again, like I came home and he's like, oh yeah, I signed up for the class, and then he just took it. And I was thinking about that the other day, and I was like, oh shit, hey, by the way, because it was just an afterthought, because I myself don't wear glasses, it was never a forefront thought.
Yeah, less of a choice. Again, law of probabilities, just like so Goon, when we talked, I think it's probably a couple weeks ago, we were talking about our pre-safety briefs for any kind of activity. Look at the probability of something happening, and then you measure your safety procedures against it. So as far as glasses, it's much more probable that you're going to mess up your legs, your hands, your head, your feet than actually your eyes in a wreck. So that's probably more important. I like to lever that against when seatbelt laws started to become mandatory in the 80s. People were like, yeah, but I've seen people have wrecks in cars and the seatbelt actually tore them right in half or lacerated their liver. That was true. That happens sometimes. But those wrecks happened at in excess of 60, 70, 80 miles an hour. So what is your biggest problem? Having a wreck at 80 miles an hour or your seatbelt?
Yeah.
You've got to weigh things against each other. That's why my most wrecks are done in cars at 35, 40 miles an hour, because they figure if by probability you're going to be able to slow down at least down to 40 miles an hour before you actually hit something, unless you're drunk or going 100 miles an hour, and then it really won't matter. So that's why I laugh when I see these bullet things when they shoot through glasses with a bullet or a 22 or a 45. If somebody's going to shoot at you with a 45, your problem's not your safety glasses breaking, it's somebody shooting at you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have other problems going on.
Generally, they aim center mass too. So.
Unless they're really mad.
Yeah.
Sorry,
That's all
Goon.
headshots.
Sorry again that I got us kind of off topic a little bit with the whole packing for camping, but that was an actual concern I had on behalf of my friend with riding, because it was just never anything I ever thought of until we were discussing like necessary or optional safety benefits to try to help his wife be more okay with him riding.
I think if she's already set against riding, he's not going to be able to do anything right. And I hate to say that, but it's if she's already set her mind against it. So I tried to. Hi, I'm here and now I'm taking over all the conversations. I tried to sell a silver wing back probably about 15 years ago. And silver wings, as we know, are pretty rare. It's amazing they're finding so many down in Florida to give away for the campouts. But this woman showed up. She was very excited. She wanted to look at the motorcycle. She says, yeah, my husband told me if I could find one of these 650 GLs, he'd let me buy it. And it was the only motorcycle he would let me buy. And right there I went, yeah, he doesn't want you to have a motorcycle. And because literally there's only like 20, probably 2,200 of those that were imported into the United States between 83 and 84. But the probability of finding one is almost slim 20 years later, finding one that I can actually sell. So he, over the course of probably 3 weeks, found more and more reasons why this was just the absolute wrong bike for her. So obviously he ended up not getting it. But yeah, if she's already dead set against him getting it, she's going to find reasons for him not to get that bike. I hope he gets it for his peace of mind. But
I mean, he already signed up and took the MSF course, despite her saying she was against it. And they do care about each other deeply. I don't think that she would end their marriage over this until the first incident happens. Close near miss or actual, like, accident. And then she'd probably be like, all right, it's me you're riding. I don't think, until something like that, I don't think she'll really say, like, you're not allowed to ride. She will just actively voice her discomfort and stance against it.
I hope you're right. I'm going to put money against it.
That's fine. This is going to be one of
I've
the
seen
very
this before.
few times. Yeah, it's going to be one of the few times I try to look at or be optimistic.
Read this book, saw the movie. Poor guy.
They were at Throttle Co today while I was there, and she didn't seem the most pleased, but she did seem very engaged in the conversation, especially when it came to finding the right gear that fit properly for safety, and she seemed pretty engaged with the conversations when it came to
It's a
just
good
talking
sign
about
she went
bike.
with him. That's a good sign.
Yeah, I was surprised that she came with him, but also happy that she did, because I think getting to see the community, getting to see how easily people would talk with each other, seeing that it's not just about riding the bike, it's also about the community, I think might get her to relax on her stance against it a little bit, maybe open up to the idea that riding isn't just about the bikes, it's also about the camaraderie that comes with it.
Drunk.
Right on.
I just saw chat.
What else have I missed? And why is my camera backwards and no one else's is?
That might be your settings.
That's a setting. Kidding.
I was about to say, God damn. How many times do we have to teach you this lesson, old man?
I fixed my own. Apparently I'm the only one that knows how to get Discord and OBS for free, so...
I mean, what we're doing right now.
Riverside in OBS. Yeah, I figured that the hard way. I thought I was doing everything wrong until all of a sudden it worked, and then I found out I was the only one that was doing it. It's like, I guess
That's because
Achievement
Riverside had a
unlocked.
built-in streaming. Like, it would stream for you.
Yeah, I just so I did Riverside, pushed it OBS, and then the hard part was trying to get OBS to send it to YouTube as a third party. And once I figured out all those settings, because everybody knows I had a whole lot of problem actually getting them started. Once I could put all the right keys in and I put all the right accesses in, now I've got it set. It's good to go.
Yeah. What else have you missed? Well, your next question is, what essentials or lessons have you learned about things that you didn't bring that you wish you would have brought?
No, as far as camping, as far as kind of camping we do at campouts like that, you can pretty much, there's hardly anything you can't get there and buy when you get there. However, the more expensive things like tents, sleeping bags, you don't want to get those on the road because you want to get those kind of things proven before you actually go to a campout. And obviously always bring water.
Or a life straw, or a Sawyer filter, micro filter.
And a first aid kit. And always bring a knife. You never know who's going to need a knife.
And we just take a second to appreciate how large of a container of water Sid just held up.
Just after drinking her 5 gallons of Dark and Stormy, I kept seeing her tilt those up. She probably needs that water.
I haven't had one of those in a while. I need to make another. That should
What?
be like my live stream drink.
I thought that's what you were drinking earlier. I thought
The
that was
Dark
your
and
live
Stormy?
stream drink.
I think I'm gonna start bringing black and tans. I have found a second love for these things.
I'm just gonna start drinking.
I will admit, I do like what Eddie Fresh did just put in the live stream chat of practice setting up your tent.
How have
Because
none
there's
of
been a
us
couple of
mentioned
times. There's been a couple of times I got a new tent and then I never put it together until I'm like at the campsite.
For shame.
Oh, absolutely. The third time you put it up is much more easier than the first time you put it up. The first time you're wasting probably 75% of your time. There's secrets you will find putting it together yourself in your backyard.
that? Yep.
I learned the hard way. I now know this is the way.
That's my favorite way to learn.
I just saw somebody's comment, drunk people and axes. I just got these zip strip suture closures on Amazon. They add those to the Boo Boo Kit wish list. So I will be bringing some of those because Diana's like, what do we need those for? Do you think those will seal up an axe cut? Yes.
Oh
do.
yeah. Shay
Hell
was
yeah.
talking about getting one of those like mobile axe throwing ranges
Yes.
during the earlier part of the day when people aren't intoxicated
It's
from
for
their
goddamn
live
just
stream
camp
the
out.
other night.
Everyone's
Is that before
intoxicated
breakfast?
at
Yeah,
damn near all
there's
times.
there's no time limit on that.
Yeah,
Not
those-
everybody.
if you catch them before
Drunk and just
breakfast,
kept
maybe.
drinking.
Yeah.
I feel like that'd be a good thing to have at an event area, like that we all go to. Like they had the vineyard thing this past camp out.
Mhm.
Maybe have something like that set up at the vineyard, so it's not on the Forgotten
Well,
Angels property.
When
If you
Rainey
can
and I
ride
were
there, you're
at
probably good.
OCC, they had one there.
Ooh. Honestly, it's really awesome to have one of those because it brings in a lot of people. It's a very niche thing, and it's getting more popular now that the whole axe throwing scene.
Yeah.
I think
There
I
was-
think you're onto something there. If you have it where people are already there and drinking, it might not be a good idea. But if they can prove to you that they can drive somewhere and then throw an axe, maybe a better idea.
Also, if any
Maybe not
accidents,
OCC,
Yeah.
because at OCC they can keep drinking.
Mhm.
So maybe not OCC.
But if it's not
I
on
love our
FA
people,
property,
but-
FA can't be responsible for any
Exactly.
injury. That's
Yeah,
the big thing.
that's the big thing I'm thinking about. Like it, if
Above liability, though, how will you feel if you bring up a group of people there, they start drinking, and then somebody gets hurt because they're drunk?
yeah, but everyone knows
Then
what
it's on the business, not
But
FA.
as a person, how would that make you feel? I'm not talking about liability. I'm talking as a
okay,
person.
okay.
You bring people there, and it's like I brought this dude. I knew he was drinking, and he's like, "Let's throw axes," and I'm like, "Okay, why not?" And then he gets hurt.
That's fair.
that is fair. Yeah. At the same
There-
time,
If,
it's like once
There's
you-
a point there with that. I'm gonna say there's a point where you can try to make a recommendation against it, but at the end of the day, that person's gonna do whatever they want anyways.
Damn right.
You can only do so much influence besides getting physical with someone to prevent them from doing something detrimental to themselves.
Yeah, and I was gonna say that. That's why I don't know how many parties. Maybe as a younger guy just getting into the world because you're what, 19 now. You go to these parties and your friends are like, "Yeah, if I get drunk, take away my keys. If you don't think I can drive, take away my keys." Fast forward 2 hours and they're shit faced and they will not give you their keys. And it does take 3 of you to take his keys away and shove them in a car somewhere.
It's
So-
a weird. It's so weird when how like ridiculously. I don't want to say strong, but difficult that intoxicated people can be to deal with. Not in the rationality sense, but like in the more physical sense.
That's because when they're drunk, they're not afraid of hurting you. When you're still sober, you're afraid of hurting them. So once you
Yes.
put that out of your mind, drunk people are very easy to handle. Ask a bouncer. Any bouncer
Yeah.
will tell you that.
There's
Yeah.
I have a personal experience where I'm not a very aggressive person, especially physically. But when I had my roommates when I lived in Columbus at an apartment, one of them had a friend that came over all the time. He didn't care for me. He disregarded me. Didn't treat me like a person. That's fine. I didn't care about him. He's about the same size as Juice, physically. He's like 6'2", 6'3", tall, naturally has some muscle on him. And he was drunk. He was flat, pissed, drunk, couldn't hardly stand up. And he was pushing around a guy who was the same size as Shay and just bullying the fuck out of him in my kitchen. I'm a patient person. I wasn't putting up with that. I grabbed him by his shirt and slammed him into a wall and brought him down to my level to get him to let go of the other guy and calm down. And I reached into his pocket and took his keys away from him and gave them to my roommate and said, "You're going to go hide these in his room. He's staying here tonight. I'm taking the other guy home, and this guy's not to be in this house again when I'm here. Like, if I'm not here, cool. He can be here. If I'm here and he's here, I'm dragging his ass outside." That is, at that point, the fact that I had to get that physical with someone that I didn't really know or care about because he's being that belligerent to a third party, that's not okay. But the fact that I had to be the one to step in to stop someone else's friend from being a detriment not to themselves, but also to a third person, that's where responsibility of, hey, you need to check your friend, you need to do something about this, that's when that definitely needed to happen before that.
But what you did was probably the best thing that could have happened because, like I said, your friends are worried about hurting you. An outside person, friends know that it needs to be done. They just can't do it themselves. It's like if your dog got rabies and you had to shoot it yourself, you'd rather have someone else shoot it because you just can't. It's the same mentality.
Yeah.
An outsider can step in and take care of the situation that their friends know need to happen. They just can't do because it's like, one, it's easier to blame it on you and go, "Hey, dude, that dude just took over," and I just had to, we couldn't step in because you were wrong. It's easier for them to say that than to say, "Yeah, I had to come in and bust you up, and you're my friend. Now let's go home together and keep hanging out as friends." So it throws and the friends will be very grateful of that. They will be. So
Yeah.
But yeah. Back to mind. Yeah, if you don't care about that person, it's a whole lot easier to take a drunk down if you don't care about their well-being. And that kind of sounds brash, but it's true.
But yeah, I mean, if he was just on his own drunk stumbling around, I would have told my friend that was his friend. Me and the third person had no friendship. I didn't care about him, he didn't care about me, whatever. But I could not in good conscience let him drive home, and on top of that, the fact he was bullying the shit out of somebody's like, can't do that.
Thanks for stopping by.
Can't let you do that. Especially because, again, this dude was loose juice size and picking a fight with someone Shay Lisi size. Like, that is not alright.
Although I do have to say, there's a lot of shorter guys that I know who can really scrap, man.
Oh yeah, no, it's always the scrawny short guys that you got to keep an eye on because they will be the first one to do something out of the box and wild.
Not only that, they're used to having to have fought for respect their whole life.
Yes.
And a bigger guy is used to bullying people. He's not used to actually ever having to actually get in a fight because his size usually is a good deterrent.
Bye.
Something my dad told me about fighting a long time ago. He's like, you know what? The most fights get won not by the person who's stronger or taller or whatever, but by who is actually willing to be more violent given in that situation. I would have to imagine that if you're of a smaller size, you're gonna know to rely on that more because you don't have this physical size to fall back on. So yeah, you get creative. You know, you use teeth, you go for eyes, you go for the throat. Maybe, I don't know.
Expeditionary warfare, we say strike hard, strike fast, and get the fuck out.
Hmm.
This is the way.
This is
That
the way.
is the way. Alright, what's going on, Abel? So let's see. What was the other one? If you're not buying food at a restaurant and you're going to cook at the campsite, what do you bring to cook with? And what do you cook?
You cook easy meals. You take something to boil water in, and you take a campfire meal, something you pour hot water into and stir up.
Okay.
I do.
I've seen people. I mean, we've all seen the people that'll go out with tomatoes and onions and bell peppers and a steak and mushrooms, and that's great if you're going to go out and eat one meal. If you're going to be out for a week, more, take something that's compact. You can stack a whole lot of, and it doesn't take a whole lot of meal preparation. Or plan on, if you're going on a hunting trip, I mean, go out, bring your veggies and stuff. Plan on catching something while you're there and roasting it over a fire. That's two different kinds of camp prep. So
Not
depends on
as
what you're doing.
reliable as you'd think it would be.
Especially a fishing trip. Always take granola bars on a fishing trip.
Yeah.
Did we miss anything? Any of the questions that we've been over? Sid?
I think we're good, unless there's something specific the chat wants us to bring up, like a specific scenario or something.
Said loving the ring, and everyone loves it.
I can't wait to
Wait,
get
what?
mine.
Ring,
Oh yeah.
love it. It's awesome.
Oh, thank you.
It's an attention getter.
Yeah, I just fixed my lathe just a few days ago, so I'm hoping to get everything back up and running again.
Did someone say ring? Something about going to Sentinel?
He went to Sentinel.
Went to Sentinel.
Oh my gosh, he went to Sentinel.
Alright, so does chat have any questions for us? Sid, are you growing your hair out?
Oh, no, I cut it like twice a year, and it's in the growing phase now. I'm not doing it on purpose. It's just I'm not one of those people who gets their hair done every day or like every week or so. I don't know.
Now,
So
see
how
what I'm
is the-
thinking it is. Oh, go ahead, Rainey.
I was gonna ask Sydney, how is that motorcycle coming? Did you get it running? Double fix?
Oh yeah, it's good. It is perfect. It is fine. I took the exhaust off, got everything back on. Apparently, and I made a video about it. Hopefully, I can edit it soon. But apparently, with the Two Brothers racing exhaust, you have to repack the exhaust every 3,000 to 5,000 miles. I found this out, and I was about 15,000 miles overdue. So, just took it off.
New media,
repacked
or
it.
you have to clean it?
No, you have to put like new packing. There's like fiberglass
media?
pack. Yeah,
It's crazy. Okay.
yeah.
I mean, if it's worth it to you, I mean, if you really like that, yeah, that's great. But just, oh my gosh,
But
I
I mean,
can
Yeah.
imagine
Wow.
putting.
you do so much riding that you will be repacking that thing all the time.
Well, at least she
Yeah.
knows she can go 15,000 miles
Oh.
on one pack.
If you turn again, I mean, it's like oil. If it's worth 5,000 miles to change your oil to keep riding it, how long does it take to pack that muffler?
Not too long. Luckily,
So-
the Two Brothers racing, it's just like two tension, tension springs, and then like two tension springs, and then two bolts that I have to take off. So in that regard, it's kind of easy to get everything off, but it's still a hassle to have to pay an extra $20 essentially every time I do my oil, because it lines up with how often I have to change my oil. So that's like, I use Ames oil, because I put my engine through a lot of trauma. So uh, I'll do like 5,000 miles. Sometimes I'll do it a little sooner, but about 5,000 miles I'll change it, and then now 5,000 miles I'll have to repack my exhaust. It's unfortunate.
That's what she said.
Alright, well, if chat doesn't have any questions for us, I think we're going to wrap this one up for the week. Next week's will be on a Friday. Make sure you check out Rainy's shop and help support the Boo Boo unit. And if you come to the Goon shop and get anything from Weirdos Assemble, all that will go towards funding future Weirdos Assemble events, like the May 18th to 21st campout, where we'll be traveling up to, well, down to, technically, the Tennessee Motorcycle Music Revival. And we'll be hanging out, we'll be hitting all the big roads in this area. So if any of y'all want to come, you're more than welcome. The campground has plenty of space. But we'll make our way around for last thoughts. Start with Aaron.
It's going to be one of the things I typically do say. Be kind, or that, not just me, but everyone here says be kind. Tell your friends you love them, and never take a moment for granted.
Fair enough. Rainy?
A vote for the Boo Boo unit is a vote for Band-Aids. Seriously, the Boo Boo unit, I've already bought most of this stuff, but yeah, I mean, I'm way in front of what it actually costs. So yeah, anything that goes for the Boo Boo unit merchandise is to pay for things like gauze, burn pads, a Coban, saline wash fluid, stuff like that. So support those who are trying to support you. Buy some Boo Boo unit merchandise, and Parker will be happy with that.
Sid?
Kind of keeping in theme with the stream. Remember to bring stuff to help you keep warm. Don't freeze your fingers off. Ride within your means and be kind to everyone.
All right. And Yankee.
Nope. It's Motocamping is the same as just riding a motorcycle in general. Same as a lot of things. My uncle told me a long time ago. It's supposed to be fun. If you're not having fun, you're not doing it right.
I agree with that. Let's see. We got one last question in the chat. Where to go? Who's meeting Adam Sandoval on his ride? I might try to swing by if he has one around me and I'm available.
I'm so out of loop with his stuff. I didn't know he was getting ready to do a big tour ride.
Another 120 dealerships.
Jesus Christ.
I didn't know Father Barber was doing a ride until Stephanie called me today and goes, "Hey, we're going to be passing through Tupelo. Come down and see us." And I'm like, there right now? Yeah, we'll be there in an hour. And I was like, no.
I can't. I can't do that.
It's like now? now?
All right, y'all. But we'll see you next Friday. Have a great week. Rainey, do you have a video coming out this week?
I do not. Next weekend I have, obviously, I'll talk to you guys after we close. But yeah, next weekend I have Robin, the lady biker out of Australia. She'll be on, I believe we're doing it Sunday night. I'd have to check again. It's either Saturday or Sunday.
Okay.
But that's it. I'm going to do one this week and put it out probably Wednesday for the Comanche boot comparison. But that's all I've got planned.
Aaron?
So I meant to actually have a video out yesterday, but allergies have just been absolutely screwing me the last couple weeks to the point I can't visually see clear. So I'm hoping to scrap together and get a video out tomorrow, talking about my Indy Ridge boots and my experience with them as a first-time purchase person, and trying to understand why you, Goon, and Rainey, and Jerry recommended them.
Okay.
I need to get a quick talking head intro and exit to it, and then just edit together, put some music, but ideally I'll have that out tomorrow.
Most of the Indy Ridge videos start with a wheelie, so start on that.
Okay, it might take me a couple more months then.
Sid, you got one coming out?
Yeah, hopefully next week. I'm breaking the hiatus, guys.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Yankee?
don't have any. I don't have a YouTube channel, but
Oh.
I might have some content for the Instagram coming out soon. Get some big plans for the next coming weeks. And
There we go.
without going too much into the details, let us say that the joining of the Indy Ridge cult, as it were, may be imminent. So
Ooh.
we will see. We will have to be doing some testing to
Nice.
see how that works out.
Alright, spoiler alert.
Endorse
They're
this.
great boots.
They're phenomenal. I have a video coming out Monday, 6 p.m. Central. Yeah. And then I'll have Weirdos Assemble next Friday. So, we'll see you guys then. Have a good week.